To save money, you really need to know how to maximize your money, how to stretch every dollar. And that's what this video is about. I've done several videos on how my family saved money, how we've been able to save over the years. But today's video is going to be mostly how to stretch your dollar. A couple would be how to cut costs, period. But most of it will be how to stretch your dollar, how to maximize your money so it lasts longer, thereby saving you money. Let's go. A good tip for cutting back spending and thereby saving money is to keep snacks and drinks in the car. Because how many times have you're running errand or you're taking the kids to an appointment and the next thing you hear, Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I need something to drink. I'm thirsty. And then there you go, $3 for some kind of juice that technically should be 50 cents, or you buy a snack. And those habits is where money leaves your hand, especially if you use cash. There you go, splitting a 20. And once you split that 20, it's gone. You can't keep track of it. But if you keep snacks in the car, especially now that we're going into the summer, keep some kind of snacks in the car, keep some Capri Sun is a good way. I know summer is going to be hot, but just put it by the AC and it'll cool off and then give it to them. That will keep you from all those unnecessary buying. Even for us adults, you're running errands, especially on weekends, you're trying to hit several things at a time, but then you're hungry. And then you end up buying that chips for like $4, even though it's not even the best health-wise. But so keep snacks and drinks in the car. At the end of the month or before your first paycheck of the month, go into your checking account and transfer everything else that is left to your savings. Because by the end of the month, you've paid all your bills, you've done your grocery shopping, yada, yada, yada. Whatever is left is what you haven't used, right? Rather than letting it sit in the account, transfer that balance into a savings account. Because, when you have extra money sitting in your account, somehow, you start feeling rich. You start feeling money's not an issue, right? And so it makes you spend more. But if you take that money and transfer it into your savings account, now your savings account is growing. You're less likely to go into your savings and take money out for frivolous spending. Leave a little buffer in your checking account so you don't overdraft, but the rest, move it on to your savings. You want to do this at the end of the month or at the beginning of your first paycheck for the month. Or if you like, you could do this before every paycheck. I have this bad habit of buying a product before the one I have runs out, because the one I have is about to run out. So then when I go to the store for the weekend and I'm shopping for the week, I buy a new one. But then the one that I thought would run out ends up lasting for another week. Horrible habit. I do it with dish soap, I do it with body wash or hand soap. And honestly, I've noted it doesn't run out until much later, especially for those of us who are trying to cut back on our grocery bill. I consider this my grocery bill. Anything that has to do with the house, the dish soap, the body wash, toothpaste, I lump all that in my grocery bill. For those of us who want to cut that back, this is a good way to cut that back, because what we keep doing is you're spending more than you need to. Wait till it's absolutely, i.e., by tomorrow we're out, and then buy. Because what we're doing, which I'm speaking to myself here too, what we're doing is we're spending unnecessarily. We're spending before we have to. And I know you're saying, well, it adds up because eventually you will use it. But it's almost like I keep buying ahead. I keep paying ahead. Stop. Speaking of groceries, a good way to save money on your grocery bill is to avoid going into the store until you have to. When something runs out, rather than going into the store to buy because you've ran out, try and find something else to work with. Because the moment you go into that store for just bacon, you're going to buy other things. And here comes that habit of, we're almost out of salt. And then I buy salt. Oh, we're almost out of this. And then it's never that one thing you go into the store for, right? And that's something I've also started doing. Like my daughter we ran out of bacon. We eat bacon every morning. My daughter eats bacon every morning. And somehow we ran out. I shop weekly because I think it saves me more money. I waste less, but I didn't want to go to the store just for bacon because I knew I would buy other things, right? So I was like, well, we're no bacon this morning. We have to figure out something else. So we did sausage, we did toast, but I was forced to work with what I had just to keep from going to the store. And that's a habit that would really save you money. I don't know if banks still do this, but back in the day, there were certain accounts where if you sign up for the checking account, they would automatically transfer $1 every week or every month to your savings. You can do that for yourself. Set up your checking and savings account the way your checking and savings is set up. Set up your checking and savings where every week they take out a specific amount. It doesn't have to be a huge amount, depending on how your wallet is set up. Maybe every week you have the bank transfer $5 to your savings. You just set up the transfer. Every week, $5 leaves your account. You're checking into your savings, or $10. That is money you're not going to miss. That is money you're not going to notice, right? Because you can easily spend $10 buying a snack. You can easily spend, depending on your lifestyle, $20 just like that without thinking about it. Well, this is a way to make it work for you. $10 every week into your checking account. Do you know if you did that every week for a year, at the end of the year, you have $520 just like that, just nonchalantly in the account, because it adds up, right? This is a way to play save money in a way you don't really feel the pain of losing $40 a month. Because if I said $40 a month, that may feel like a lot, but $10 every week to get 520 by the end of the year, amazing. Now, I use figures this little in this video, just for simple examples, but depending on your wallet, you could make it higher. If you want to do 50 a week because you roll like that, cool. Make extra payments on your utility bills. I know this doesn't sound like you're saving money because you're spending, but you're spending ahead of time so that down the road, later on in the year, you end up saving. So the idea is you pay more than your minimum throughout the year. And by December, which is the month where all our expenses skyrocket, right? Your utility bills are a lot lower and you end up saving money. So you're prepaying for December so you can have a lot more wiggle room in your budget for your high expenses. I think this is a genius way to do it. Going out to eat can still happen while saving, right? You just have to figure out ways to do it. Here's a good way to do it. When you go out to eat, you don't have to do appetizer. Let that free whatever the restaurant has be your appetizer. If you go to a restaurant that serves bread and oil, that's an appetizer. Shoot, what's the difference? We're good. When I go out to eat, yes, as much as it is for the food, but a lot of it really is for the ambiance and I'm out of my house and I'm with people. That's really by going out to eat, right? So I don't need to order 10 different meals. I don't need to do appetizer, main meal. If it's Cheesecake Factory, I'm doing a dessert. I'm getting cheesecake. But other than that, I don't have to do all that. So if you're trying to save your money and still enjoy life, there's no need to order appetizer. There's no need to order alcohol. Alcohol will shoot up your bill just like that. You can have your alcohol at home. Now, for some of us, like I said, for me, going out is all about the whatnot. If your budget allows it, have the alcohol. This is focused on when you're trying to save money, right? You're trying to not to spend, but you also want to eat your cake. You can have alcohol at home. You can have appetizer at home. Use the whatever free stuff the restaurant gives you as your appetizer. Something I've done is on our way back from going out to eat, we'll stop by the grocery store and I'll grab dessert and we'll have dessert at home. And I know the right store, love Walmart, but I'm not buying dessert from Walmart when I want a good dessert. I know the grocery stores with great desserts to buy from, and it's a lot cheaper than the restaurant. And in some cases, you can actually get an appetizer for your main meal. Cheesecake Factory, love Cheesecake Factory. I always get the tamale, the sweet tamale. That is big enough for a main meal, but it's an appetizer and it's cheaper than a lot of the main meal. It tastes better than a lot of the main meals too, right? So you can find ways to be cheap with going out to eat. And a good way to do it is don't order appetizer, don't order dessert, and maybe consider having the appetizer as your main meal, and you still enjoy the socialness of going out to eat. Speaking of going out to eat, the mindset is when going out to eat, it's not something that is expected all the time. It saves you money. Us as a family, we enjoy going out to eat, but we've made sure to instill to our kids, we're not going out to eat just, all right, let's go out and eat because it's Sunday, or let's go out and eat because it's Friday. They know it's not the regular. And so, but we do go out to eat. We're just not making a regular behavior, and that saves money. Cheaper is not necessarily saving you money. In some cases, buying the cheaper brand, buying the cheaper option may end up costing you more because you'll end up using more, which means you would end up buying more. See how that goes? A good example for this is my dish soap. I don't know why I'm having a tough time saying dish in today's video. My dish soap, I use Dawn. Nothing beats Dawn. Now, I have bought the generic of several stores and they are cheaper because, Dawn isn't cheap, right? It's cheap if you don't care about cutting back your groceries. But when you're looking at cutting back grocery bill and you're trying to cut everywhere possible, paying $4 compared to $2 or $1.50, it's like, But I have learned when I buy those cheaper versions, they don't cut the grease as good. And so I keep using more and more. And then it runs out. And now I have to buy more. So I have learned Dawn is the best way to go. I'm about to try all these Dawn's generic and see how that goes. But so far, the other stores I've tried, Dawn comes out on top. I'll keep you updated with the all these generic brand for Dawn. But take a look at some of the things you buy when you're buying the cheaper option because you're trying to save money. If you're going to have to end up using a lot more of that wipe because the first one it never cuts it with the first one, and now you have to add a second to use, then it's probably not worth it. You might as well go with the original that is more expensive because you're saving yourself more money in the long run. The reality of life as parents is that, listen, there will be evenings and afternoons when you were exhausted or you were busy, you do not want to cook, and so therefore you order food. But when you're trying to save money, you also know even McDonald's for the family can be 30 something dollars. Sometimes I'm like, how am I spending 30 something dollars for me? How? Right? So to avoid doing that, it will behoove you to buy some of those pre-packaged foods. You know, chicken nuggets is a great one for my kids. Those chicken fingers, a great one. Foods that I can just pop in a microwave on days where I don't want to cook, or I'm tired, or I'm busy. I really don't want to be slaving away on the stove because if I slave away 3 times a day, right? 7 days a week. So get you those convenience food for the kids as parents. That's where it comes in handy for me. Maybe just for you as a human being, as a regular person. But the point is, you would rather spend that extra $7 a bag. I know it's expensive. You can make your own chicken nuggets, or you can make your own, I don't know, what hamburger, whatever. That $7 is a lot cheaper than $20 at Chick-fil-A or $20 at McDonald's. Get you convenience foods that you can just pop in the microwave and end up saving you both time, energy, and money. It's a triple threat. A great way to save money, especially for those of you who have kids from 0 till 3 years old, is to shop at thrift stores for kids. I did this and I am so proud of myself for doing it. Even though back then it seemed like, oh my gosh, what, you're so cheap. Listen, back then I was like, my kid goes to daycare. I have to wash her clothes every single day, which means they're going to wear out faster, which means I need a whole lot of clothes. But I did not want to spend that much money on clothes because they outgrow them. They outgrow them so quickly, especially between 0 and 3. They outgrow them like that, right? So I bought a lot of my kids' clothes from the thrift store. It was Once Upon a Child. That was the name of the store we went to. And you would be amazed. Except the brand new baby, when you get back from the hospital, I bought that from the store. But after that, Once Upon a Child, brand new clothes kids barely wore. Back then it was like $2.50, $2.50, $3. That saved us a lot of money. Now I think once they hit 4, it no longer works because the kids are more active, the leggings are worn out and all. And I do agree, a lot of clothes in the stores now are a lot cheaper. So take a look at the math. I know we've all heard about doing our laundry with cold water because then you're saving money on your utility bills. But I know a lot of kickback with that has been, well, I can't wash my towels with cold water. I can't wash my bedsheet with cold water because, we're trying to kill germs. Well, I heard this and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? You can wash with cold water because you're going to hit it with hot air in the dryer and that will kill the germs. So keep washing your laundry. For those of us who have hesitated for towels and all that, yes, use cold water for your laundry to save money. Trade services with your friends and family. If you need something fixed in a house and you don't know how to, a faucet or leaky toilet, whatever it is, you don't know how to, but a friend does, then hey, how about I braid your hair and you fix my faucet? Or how about I watch your kids on Saturday and you do this for me? Whatever it is, trade services with friends and family. I have my list over here and that's why I'm doing that. So it's a way to keep from immediately paying for services or buying things. For those of us who rent, if anything needs to be fixed, I make a phone call. I can give you all the several ways to save money, but the most effective way is to figure out how you spend money. I know a lot of us here on YouTube, a lot of personal finance pages would say, go through your receipts, go through your statements. And for a lot of you, that's a lot of work. So an easy way to do this is over the next 2 weeks, over the next several days, pay attention to how you're spending, pay attention to where you spend, and then address that and then fix it. For me, a lot of our spending in this house has to do with food or groceries, and that's where my focus is. So I put more energy into that, knowing that if I can tackle that, it's going to have a bigger impact on our wallet, because this is where a lot of our money is going. So pay attention to where you spend and tackle that area. Well, this will definitely save you some coins. So I need you to hit that button so I can save me some coins too. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.